Hi, this is Abaya from Scrapinmaniac, and today I'm going to create another page in my art journal. And what I'm using is this doll that I made some time ago, and I want to just put her on this page. Then I have this decorative flower and leaf design by Richard Hoffman, and it comes with 124 illustrations. And I really like the swirls and the other images in here, the flower images. I really do. And what I use it for is to trace. So I'm tracing out those images, and then I'm going to use that to put it on here, you know, tracing paper. I'm going to put it on here and then trace it out and use it to color. I'm also going to be using some of the Ken Oliver's Craft Color Burst. So I got all the color burst here. I'm going to be using that for a sprinkle on the background. And then I'm going to use this little ceramic egg holder. And this is perfect for using your powders, because you can put a little bit of there with some water and use that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I hope you like it. So I'm wetting the whole page and putting a little bit of my color burst. You got to be careful with this color burst. Last time I used it, I made mud because I put too much, so you really got to just sprinkle just a tiny bit. While my page is drying with all the watercolors that I did, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to, I'm going to transfer this on the page. I'm going to take a chalk, any kind of chalk, and then you're going to put it on the back of your transfer. Like so. And get a color chalk that's going to show against your background. And then you're going to just blow that off. And there you have it. So then when my piece is dry, I'm going to show you how to transfer that to your page. So now that my page is dry, I did pull out my watercolor, some of these Chinese watercolor paint. And I went ahead and put a little bit on this plate. I decided to use that instead of my color burst. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay this down where you want it, and then you're going to take something sharp and you're just going to trace it. So I'm going to speed up the video and trace this out, and I hope you like it. If you want to know what I'm just using a bamboo calligraphy pencil, or whatever this is called. And you use it when for your inks. You just dip it in the ink and then you write on your paper. And this works very well. And see how it transferred nicely on the page. And the reason why I'm not using a pencil, because I may want to use these traceables again. So I don't want to distort the image by drawing on top of it with ink and kind of blurring the image. And the good thing about these traceable is that you don't have to use the whole thing. You can just use little bits and pieces like I'm doing here, and just put them around where you want it on your page. And as you can see there, I'm putting that doily right in the right hand side, and I want my cutout of my doll to be in the center. So once I've done tracing all the different images on my page, I'm going to go over it with Elegant Writer, and the Elegant Writer is a marker that reacts with water. And it looks pretty nice when you use watercolors on top of this ink, because it blends with the watercolor, and sometimes you get some different effects and some different color variations than if you used a permanent marker. But if you do not want that and you just want to keep the edges crisp, I would use a Sharpie, and that way it won't react with the water, and you'll have nice crisp edges on your page. And see how when it mixes with yellow, it makes it green. So I'm done with this page. So here's the doll, and unfortunately I ran out of tape, and I didn't hear it when my camcorder ran out of tape. I'm not using my iPad. I'm just using a regular tape recorder, and you know, it ran out of tape. So I used a stamp that is from Jen Hatfield, and it's a clear acrylic stamp that I got at Tuesday Morning, and it has nice sayings like "You are loved," "Do what you love," "Never never give up," "Be awesome." It's very versatile, and you can use this for art journal. As you can see, "Be awesome." You can also use it for a card for a friend, and you can also use it for scrapbooking. So it's very versatile. I like the sayings on this. And then I used the other stamp, Totally Fabulous, that I got at Michael's a long time ago, and I really like these sayings. And I use this a lot in pages and in cards. So the other thing that you kind of missed is I went ahead and used some of my Chinese watercolor and just painted her dress red and went over her face a little more with my Caran d'Ache. And this is the Portrait and this Neo 1, which is, these are wax pastels. They're not water soluble, but they're wax pastel. They work pretty nice, and what you do is once you put it on your doll or your surface, then you can take a stump and blend it in if you want to do, or you can also take mineral oil and blend it in. So I just put a little bit and then use my stump to kind of go over it and blend it. And I just glued her on this page, just regular. I didn't use gel medium. I just used regular, very tacky glue or jewel glue, because this is watercolor paper and it's very thick. So I didn't want to use gel medium because I'm not sure of that gel medium, because I don't have the real thick one, if it was going to keep my doll in place. So decided to use this. This is pretty good. And I just placed that on the back of my doll and just put it on the page, and I did not go over it with gel medium or anything like that, because I do have a watercolor surface here. I'm going to go over it with this decoupage gloss sealer. That way my colors will not react with water. But right now it's still kind of wet. I did drip some ink on the page, and that ink is still wet. You can see it there. It's just very wet. So I want to make sure that that dries before I go over it with this sealer, but that will keep it in place. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.